believe how much peace Terry Harper has.
Oh, like the song. Peace like a river, I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river.
Singing again here on
soul.
Coffee with Ken. It just happens.
Oh my
They get
gosh.
carried away with whatever we're doing. Well,
Yeah, we're going to talk about that on this episode of Coffee with Ken.
mhm.
And thanks for joining us. We're
Yes.
here with Ken Brown. He's CEO of Dynasty Global. Butch McCracken is in the house. He's general manager. And I'm Dr. April Brown, executive vice president of coaching. And we are so glad you have joined us here this morning to talk about peace.
Well,
Ask that would like a question because how do we find that peace like a river?
well, I have an idea. So there was some things that we covered at this Creating a Dynasty this last week that spoke. And they're actually things that helped Terry find that peace. And for her and her, as she started working through things and just really deciding on what she wanted to do and who she wanted to be and how she wanted to do that, not just be a mom, but because she's been in the family business for years, but really deciding to focus on that and help and really take it from where a place of debt with her husband to a place of success and where they're at today is nothing less than remarkable. But Terry had to realize something, and she had to realize that she had to take off labels she was wearing. And there is a section at this last Creating a Dynasty that I really think will move you. So, Chris, why don't you cue up something for them and give them a little snippet of what we teach at Creating a Dynasty, the next level leadership that you're going to see. We never have done this before, and we may never do this again, but today and today only, we're going to show you a little snippet, of what you get at Creating a Dynasty as you hear Miss Carmen O'Quinn talk about our master trainer extraordinaire, her and her husband Jackie, she's going to be talking about labels. So I want you to listen to this, and we'll see you back here in just a minute.
And we create our labels based on where we want to go, not where we've been. You heard Melissa say this morning, we're not our past. We're not our past. But here's the thing. You cannot go backwards and forwards at the same time. You can't be focused on the past and focused on the future at the same time. If I'm looking back, can I see what's in front of me over here? Well, yeah, because there's a camera. But if I'm just looking back, can I see this? And if I'm looking forward, I can't see this. See, some of you are like, oh, but this happened, but I want to go here. Oh, but that happened, but I want to go here. And you feel like you keep hitting this glass ceiling. You are. Because you keep taking up space in your brain, worrying about what happened back there. You heard Ugwe yesterday in the video say you're too worried about what has been and what will be instead of being worried about the present. And that's why they call it a gift. What are you doing today? Not tomorrow, not what you did yesterday, not what you didn't do. What are you doing right now to move yourself where you want to go? And one of those things has got to be learning to protect this. Learning to protect it from people who don't have your vision. People who aren't where you're at. Of course they don't understand because they don't have the calling on their life that you have on yours. They're not supposed to understand. Someone always has to go first. Someone always has to go first. Someone's always got to be willing to climb up the rocky cliff to be the light on the hill. And along that road, do you know, when I was losing weight, not one person, well, there was one, my husband. No one, everybody discouraged me in my life except for my husband, without exception, including my own mother. My best friends, they loved me, but it was out of their own insecurities that they were speaking. People made fun of my food. People made fun of my chicken that I was eating. People made fun of my broccoli. People made fun of everything. But guess what? I knew who I was. I knew where I was going. And they could have their opinions all they wanted because I wasn't making my choices for anybody else's approval. And so it winds up happening if we're not careful. Gib and Jordan, could I have you come up here? Jordan, can you stand over here? Gib, can you stand over here? What happens by default? We go through experiences like we did here. Someone says, you know what, Gib? I don't think I liked you. You were cocky. And if Gib's not careful, Gib goes through an experience, someone says he's cocky. That seed just got planted. Gib's standing over his garden. He saw the seed cocky go in. He's standing there with water and Roundup. He's standing there able to say, I receive it or I reject it. And as soon as he doesn't reject it, guess what he did? He received it. As soon as he doesn't reject the seed, he received it. He allowed it to get planted. Some of you are still thinking about the negative things someone said, and I know you are because I went through the same exercise over 10 times. And before I learned about this, I would go to lunch thinking about it. Oh, someone said they didn't like my size. I was 288 pounds. I knew I was overweight. So did everybody else when I walked in the room. It wasn't a secret. But it was one of my biggest insecurities. So when someone said something about it, so I'm cocky. Now, here's the thing. If Gib believes he's cocky, he goes to an experience, he makes a decision. The decision is, I'm going to let this label stay on me. Out of that decision, he becomes a belief system that I'm cocky. People think I'm cocky. I must be cocky. Someone who believes they're cocky, how do they act? Like a cocky guy. And then someone else says, see, he's just cocky. And the circle goes around, and now he's got the identity that I'm just cocky. I've been cocky since I was little. I've been cocky since this. I've been cocky since that. What about, oh, Gib, you're just obsessive. By the way, obsessed is a word that the uncommitted use to describe the committed. I hope for the rest of my life I am obsessed with that man you saw on stage today. I am obsessed with learning about him. I am obsessed with dating him, with hearing his goals, with hearing his dreams. Because what's the alternative? Not being obsessed with the man that I said yes to? Where does that lead? I hope I am always obsessed with being a good mother. I hope and pray that I'm always obsessed being healthy. Because what's the alternative? What does obsessed actually mean? It means that I hope that I am always obsessed with business. I like that I think about it. I like that I get ideas that wake me up. I like that I'm excited about helping people change lives. Gib, you are just rebellious. Oh, and wait a minute. You're high maintenance. By the way, whoever said high maintenance was a bad thing? Would you like a wife who's not? I can pull up some Google photos of some non-high maintenance women. Her lips wouldn't be as nice. Listen, for those of you women out there, some of you are like, I'm not high maintenance. Okay, because that's good. Jack would be like, you're so high maintenance. I'm like, thank you. Would you like me not to be? Because if I wasn't high maintenance, I wouldn't have ended up with him. I would have chosen some other schlep. Gib, you're boring. You're impatient. You're antisocial. Gib, you are so demanding. You're stubborn. Gib, you talk too much. And I'm telling you, the world likes to hand these out like candy. They hand them out like candy. You're too bold. You're awful. You're a liar. You're selfish. You're a know-it-all. Oh, here's one. You're greedy. And then he goes out and he tries to succeed, thinking he's demanding. He's obsessive. He's awful. He's a failure. He talks too much. He's got all these labels on him that he has made agreements with. And he's trying to succeed, and we wonder why we just can't. We wonder why we get started and we get excited. Because we have these labels on us that don't line up with who you really are. They don't line up with where you're going and who you're destined to become. And so often what happens is we hear these good labels. And we think, yeah, but I'm not there yet, so I can't wear that label. No, you create the labels for the person you're becoming. Did you hear me? I wore the label of big boned for decades. And it was after one of these exercises where all of a sudden the things were swirling through my brain, and I said, no freaking more. I know that I'm 288 pounds, but I am not big boned. You know what I am? I am fit. I am fit. In fact, I love to work out. I love leg day. I love drinking protein shakes. And I love not putting cheese on my tacos. Because cheese and me, we were like one. The taco was the excuse for the cheese. The broccoli was the excuse for the cheese. Taco Bell didn't like them because they didn't give you enough cheese. You got to go to Del Taco to get all the cheese. But I made a decision in a moment. I am no longer going to accept the label of fluffy. So what happened after I put on the label of fit? Do you know I had been trying to lose weight for decades? Spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on weight loss products, joined all kinds of programs. But as long as my beliefs were that I was big boned, nothing ever worked. As soon as I put on the label of fit, I lost 161 pounds in 13 months.
I told you it was going to be good. That's is so insane.
Powerful.
Yes.
Yeah.
So powerful. And that is how that Terry began a path of having that peace, is that we often, just like you heard, putting on labels that other people put on us of what we're supposed to be, what we're supposed to do. And when we can take that off and really choose the labels that we put on us.
Yes.
It's so powerful.
It
and
is very
Carmen teaches this like nobody else. And I think it's because she comes from such an experience of that, of learning to take off those labels that have been put on her from her background.
Yes.
So it's very, very powerful.
It is, and she learned to take a lot of them off, right? Going through not only transform her own body, but then helping transform other people and using our core teaching to transform her entire life, and how she's using that to transform others, and then joining us to do it here at Destiny Global, which is just amazing. But Terry Harper, you are doing it. We're very proud of you and all that you're doing and changing your family every day and your clients and future clients.
Yeah.
So it
y'all
is
got a little snippet.
That
is just what you get, a little bit of taste that is transformational at our trainings. And we have a training that is coming up.
Yes, we do.
So you have not missed it, because you have to have that. This training is our first training. That's why it's called First Steps to Success. And that is in
Dallas, Texas.
January 31st through February 2nd.
Yes.
Get your tickets. You do not want to miss.
No.
If you want to start off 2025 with that kind of powerful transformational message, just like Terry got and received and what we got this last weekend, you will not regret it. I've never met a person that said that they regretted taking that first step, 2 first steps to success. So get your ticket. The link is below. And we just want to give you a little taste of what we just experienced this last weekend. So,
Pure fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the gala and the food. I don't even want to know where to begin.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to end for right now, because I got to go get busy. We got First Steps coming up.
Yeah.
And
so thanks for joining us for this episode of Coffee with Ken. We will see you next time right here
on Coffee with Ken.
Coffee with Ken.
Have a great day. Tell everybody, share, like.
Right.
See you soon.
See you, gang.